Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy, Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of Cinema Draft Game, back at it again with the homie, Jay Devlin, our fan favorite. What's going on, Jay Devlin?
Nada, my friend. Just excited for this weekend ahead. I feel like it's going to be a little disappointing after last weekend's fireworks, but definitely looking forward to playing a little bit.
Well, I definitely think it's going to be unpredictable. So these are the theater counts that came out, almost Christmas. A little bit of a surprise with Shut In. Originally projected to be at 1,850 screens, got bumped up into wide release, which I think should really kill its chances. So at least for our game, as far as we're concerned. And I'm really excited to see how Arrival is going to perform. As people who follow the podcast know, we do have a slight prop bet on Arrival. I say it's going to make 25 million or more. Jay's taking the under. I don't know, Jay. Arrival
Under.
had under. All right, so Arrival had. So the projections have been anywhere between 16 to 20 million. Arrival did 1.45 million last night in Thursday night previews on almost 2,000 screens. I went and saw it. It is an excellent film. Excellent film. Word of mouth is going to crush for this film, even more so than The Accountant. So I think we're going to see some Accountant-like results, and this thing is going to pop to like 30.
Okay. Good luck with that one, my friend.
I said it. I said it. And then wait till those cinema scores start coming into it like A plus. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. So, but you know what? I'm just a dreamer and a believer with money on the line. So let's take a look at some of these call sheets, shall we? Our $100 feature presentation, which is our main game. And apologies, Jay Devlin. I guess a release change happened while you're away from your computer, and you're not in this week. Sad to see.
I work Thursday nights, so it's not. I get that. I get the email that says my call sheet is invalid when one of the movies moves, and I just wasn't able to get in and fix it. But I will be. I loaded up on Moonlight and Almost Christmas, so I'll be very curious I will be judging these call sheets based on what obviously me thinking those movies are going to be gigantically huge. So I think Almost Christmas is going to be like huge theater count. There was something went on in our country this week politically. I don't know if you've been watching the news.
No, I was in a cave somewhere.
I know you're
Wednesday.
You're always doing Cinema Draft, but there was some news going on this week, and I think there's I was on the old Twitter machine this morning, and I see like Stephen A. Smith out there, saying, "Oh, go support our people to our people." I think there's a little backlash out there amongst certain segments of the population.
So you're feeling like there might be a little bit of entertainment tribalism, is what you're saying.
I think there will be a little bit of a groundswell of just support, coming up. And Almost Christmas is going to blow the doors off some people. And I'm sure it's a really good movie. I'm sure it's hysterical.
Well, I mean, so it comes from the Will Packer camp. Will Packer has given us, other holiday entertainments like this Christmas, and he's a really accomplished producer. He's come a long way. He's like what I like to refer to as the anti-Tyler Perry, because his first film was hot garbage. It was called Trois, which was about menage a trois, which sounds hot and sexy, but it was like the most low budget, low rent type of vehicle. And he eventually developed his skills as a producer and writer and all that sort of stuff to come to a point where his films are now highly marketable, highly entertaining, with diverse cast that tend to hit a lot of different segments of the population. So I am actually optimistic about Almost Christmas, but I couldn't make it fit into my call sheet. This is my call sheet that we're staring at right now.
Real quick, what kind of trois was he? Like two girls and a guy? What was the?
It was two girls and a guy.
And at least you got that part right.
It was like a married couple, two girls and a guy in Atlanta, because that's where he's based out of, or originally was based out, I believe. I believe he's in LA now. And it was unknown actors, whatever, but it was a hot idea. We all went and saw it, wanted to support it. I saw screening as the real deal back when I was writing my movie reviews full time or fullish time or whatever. And I just remember like writing notes in this thing like, make this stop. This is terrible. This is hot garbage. I'm sure the interview's floating on the internet somewhere, but yeah. And so to see him go from that to where he is now, where he's doing like big budget movies, medium budget movies. His real niche seems to be like those medium budget movies with largely African American casts that they can kind of produce for like 20 to 30 million that can get you like 60, 70, and you'll always be able to eat in Hollywood if you're giving multiples of 2 or 3x your budget.
So this movie was a menage a trois movie based in Atlanta. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Menage a trois movie based in Atlanta. It sounds hot. The leads were all hot. The women were hot, but the writing, it was just terrible.
Well, I've never seen this movie, but I'm guessing that what happened was they were all building to this climax of meeting for a threesome, but two of the three people got stuck in Atlanta traffic and didn't make it. Is that what happened?
Spoken. so as you're trying, just for some background, everyone, Jay Devlin took a trip to the east and southeast, visited my favorite city of Atlanta, and was greeted with LA-like traffic. It was not pleased.
Not pleased. I digress. I apologize.
All right, so basically, here's the construction. Back to the college. Here's the construction for what I was thinking about this weekend. I was doing everything I could to fade Doctor Strange, but I don't think I can. So I took at least one headliner from Doctor Strange. Got some Trolls also, because Trolls projected to do another 26 to 30 million. And then Arrival. And I am standing by my guns. That is excellent, excellent movie. And going to what you're talking about with this event that happened in our country this week, this is the type of movie that I won't say will like bind people together per se, but having the feeling of aliens invading your planet and feeling fairly helpless.
Wow, you are digging deep into the narrative.
And trying to figure out how to communicate with them might actually strike a chord somewhat somehow. I actually do have a review posted on our company blog of at medium.com/@cinemadraft, 5-line movie time, where I attempt to squeeze in.
Wait, real quick. What is biases? 40-year-old black male. What does that have to do? How is that a bias?
Oh, no. So for those who are familiar with The Real Deal, a lot of my friends who might be listening to the podcast, they know that this is the way I've always written them. So it started off as 30-year-old, or 30-something black male and I list what my biases are, because the thing I absolutely cannot abide in, when reading movie reviews, especially when I lived in LA, and Manola Dargis, who now I think is the New York Times, was writing her movie reviews, that you never knew from where they were coming. And and all these people are always like to say that they posit their reviews like they're the hand of God, like they're the word of God or something. Like they're the only ones who know anything about movie reviews, and that you should all listen to what they're saying. Okay, fine. You've seen a lot of movies. Maybe you've been exposed a lot more than I have, but I want to know like who this person is and where they're coming from, because that will color their review, because you're human. And I always thought,
fair enough.
And I think that's like the biggest missing link in most of these movie reviews. So I've always listed my biases, and I've always listed my movie biases going into the movie, because that also can color how you receive a film. Like, for example,
I was reading your biases as your movie biases.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying you were a 40-year-old black man, so you're biased against aliens or something.
No. This is who I am, but this is what I'm thinking about the movie going in. And I love Sicario. Sicario was lit. That's like a top movie from last year. Absolutely.
Great movie.
And the thing about that Arrival is that he takes he treats that movie very, very seriously. It's not serious to the lack of fun. There's some jokes in there. It's some moments of levity, but it's a very serious film. You have that whole creeping sense of dread you had like the entire time you're watching Sicario. Same type of thing. And it's a really excellent movie. Great performances, just great all around. And I really enjoyed it. And it's the type of movie where people want some escapism or whatever. I mean, they might turn to Arrival, and especially once the word of mouth gets around, it's really going to take off. So I made sure I had to get some Arrival in, because I honestly think for its price, I mean, it's probably actually accurately priced considering the overall box office, and you're going to get some hidden value even at $13,200. And then the rest of the way, I was pretty much just punting outside my Moonlight. I couldn't quite fit in a Moonlight headliner stack and still do a Loving headliner stack. Now, I think Loving, based off of what we've seen in his performance recently, could explode. It says 46 screens. I actually thought it was going to be expanded to 68 screens, but at 46 screens, it still might do some real damage, because last weekend it made $139,000 per screen. Now you can't extrapolate that out to all 46 screens, but even if it hits like 10,000 a screen on 46 screens, you're talking about 4 million. So,
oh wow,
I'm hopeful. Exactly, right? So even if it drops like 60% per screen, at 46 screens, you're looking at 10 million, at 10,000 per screen.
How have you not won this game yet? Explain that to me. I mean, you have like tools that I think you might have too many tools. You're like Tracy McGrady. You're the Tracy McGrady of Cinema Draft. You do too many things well, and it kind of like gets in your way.
Jack of all trades, master of none, huh? Well, if that ends up hampering my call sheet, we'll know the reason why. And coming from the god, Jay Devlin, who takes the analysis of this game, this nascent game, to another level, that is high praise indeed. And by the way, the draft mom says hi. She loved the last podcast, the last micropod, and loved you on it. So, your biggest fan is my mom, draft mom.
That's the only reason I do this pod, to stay in the good graces of Mama Cinema Draft.
Of draft mom, Claudette
Draft
Jackson. Let's
Mom, yes.
take a look at some of these other call sheets. Some interesting ones. Look at who showed up. G Nice, podcast, friend of the podcast. Been on a couple times. My boy G, aka Greg, and this is his first call sheet, so we're gonna take it easy on him. He went with he left a ton of money on the table. Okay. We're going to learn from this, G. We're going to learn from this. Shut-in is going to do some business, but not what you think it will. It's definitely cheaply priced. You're definitely under budget. Almost Christmas, you're going to go almost Christmas, Greg. You want to have 2 headliners, at least maximize your salary. And Stork Sun's last legs, but you had to punt at platform, so I understand. You didn't have to punt at platform. Okay, this is the first call sheet, so thank you for playing the game. We look forward to seeing you back next week. Well, we're moving on.
Enough said.
Yeah, enough said. We're not gonna, we love G Nice. We love our boy Greg. He'll be back on the pod.
He's great on the show. Yeah, for sure. Enjoyed him on the show. You go to BTTF.
Yeah, the
former champion.
BTTF and Steel Card 30, and big shouts to Steel Card. Cashing out.
Loving.
Wow, he's on the Loving train. This is an interesting call sheet. I think I kind of like this call sheet.
If Loving does what you think it's going to do, this is the winning call sheet.
Man, if Loving even gets 2 million, this call sheet is
lit.
Killing it. Yeah. Thank you. It's totally lit, because then you're getting, oh my god, you're getting 30 points each here, and then 20. Oh my god, this is some hidden value here. I think I should have gotten more Loving. Oh my goodness.
Do we know who this person is yet? Because they are very thoughtful at this game. They obviously do their research.
I mean, technically, I kind of know who all these people are to an extent, a little bit, at least as far as their emails and their gender and stuff. But otherwise, they're fairly anonymous until they go cash out on PayPal. I have implored any of our previous champions, hit us up, email us, podcast.cinemadraft@gmail.com. Come on the pod, discuss your process. These are fascinating, really, really thoughtful call sheets. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, this is a great call sheet. I think this is. I'm going to go on a limb right now and say this wins.
BTTF, you are our favorite call sheet of the week. Oh, and for those of us who are familiar with the podcast, with our breakdowns, who know of our open love affair with Kelly, the wife of Jaybird, the power couple, the Cinema Draft power couple. They are on their honeymoon. Didn't get a chance to put in call sheets. He sends his regrets. I sent my thanks. So some of us have a chance to win.
They are the Brad and Angelina of Cinema Draft. Oh wait, bad timing.
J-Kel J. All right, J-Kel J, thanks for giving us the weekend off. This is my mom. This is the draft mom again. She pulled a surprising upset over her son last week. She landed the top 10, her first top 10 ever, first time beating me ever in this game, I believe. So let's see what she came back with. Doctor Strange looks good. Arrival, I like her. Mom, I like your headliner stack of Arrival. I am with you. Almost Christmas, very smart, Loving, and then she punted everywhere else. I like this call sheet. It may not be my favorite one of the weekend, but I dig this call sheet. I think this is a top 10 call sheet.
I just love that Miss Peregrines is still relevant in this game, like 6, 7, 8 weeks later, which is fantastic.
In Hollywood love the fact that it's still relevant in this game. This is what this game's about.
I'm not big on Arrival. I mean, obviously, I think it's going to do closer to 15 million than 25 million. So that would be my only problem with this call sheet.
Well, I will just say this on two-thirds of the screens it was going to have out or whatever with last night preview showings, it's already banked 1.5 million. So we're already 15th of the way there.
We shall see, my friend.
We are 15th of the way there.
People are too busy out protesting anyway. Nobody's going to the movies this weekend.
I think that's exactly why everyone's going to the movies. I wanted to escape last night, dude. I was ready to be taken away. And I lost my mind in this movie. Like, as far as I lost sense of place, time, whatever. I was totally absorbed in this movie, and I think that kind of word of mouth is really going to help it. But that's just me being totally biased, trying to fan up my movie. Sean Waldo, my college roommate, This is his first foray into this game.
Oh,
Let's take a look at his.
dude, get him on the pod. I want to hear some. I want to hear some college stories.
Oh God! And they're all the same story too. Oh, the time when I went out going to Popeyes and we were looking for me, or oh, how we had a business renting movies at our dorm. Yeah. Okay, we'll get him on the pod. We'll get him.
I would probably chop off my little toe for some Popeyes rice right now. Underrated, underrated side dish.
2-piece spicy white with an extra biscuit. Their biscuits are delicious. Sponsor us, Popeyes. Sponsor us. So this is actually an interesting call sheet. He's got. So he totally faded Doctor Strange. Very interesting. He went with some trolls, Arrival, Ideal. It's a little scattershot, almost Christmas.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. It's not going to win, but it's not as bad as or it's not as challenged as say like a G Nice call sheet.
This is like a Jackson Pollock. There's just no focus to it. It's all over the place. $7,000 left over. Hacksaw Ridge is not relevant anymore in this game. Last week was the week. Last week was the week to jump on it. You get lucky, it outperformed, but it's going to lose 50% of its audience, and it still costs way too much money.
So it's interesting you say that because I actually think it's relevant, but only in a certain type of strategy. And actually, if I can find the call sheet, I'll bring it up on my own in a minute. I think Hacksaw Ridge. I think you're right with the new entrants this week. I think Hacksaw Ridge will be a little less relevant, but I do think that 2 weeks from now it'll be extremely relevant in the limited release category or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like once it drops down to limited, it's going to be a force. That's my prediction.
100%.
And the other one I think we should take a look at. Oh, our friend Hebrew Hammer, Mike. Let's see what you came with this week.
These movies that drop out in wide release and like 2 or 3 weeks later aren't relevant. It's like the movie Cocoon when the old people jump in the pool with the big egg and they come back to life. It's like Abe Vigoda, all right? Like that's what Hacksaw Ridge is. It's Abe Vigoda. It's the guy Wilford Brimley. It comes back to life when it goes down to limited release. Steve Guttenberg forever.
And part of the reason is, and we've mentioned this on the show before, at least I've mentioned this on the show before, is that when it comes to movies like a Hacksaw Ridge, which is definitely skewing older, definitely like Veterans Day, actually it might see a Veterans Day bump. Don't sleep. This is actually if it receives a Veterans Day bump, Hacksaw Ridge might not be too bad of a look, but these are type of movies that older people generally tend to go to movies later. Like they don't need to be there the first weekend like we do. They got stuff to do. They can get to it when they get to it. And so this is going to have long legs, which is why 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, Hacksaw Ridge will still be relevant. So what do you think of our boy Hebrew Hammer's call sheet? Break it down for us, J. Devlin.
I looked at it this morning because it's just always fun to talk shit to Mike. Not fantastic. Like I said, Hacksaw Ridge is done. And he's on this ideal high mushkil. The fact that we can pronounce that movie correctly now means it's totally irrelevant.
Exactly.
That movie was relevant when we had no idea how to fuck to say it. So that movie is dead.
It was on 302 screens at its peak. It's now down to 163. It's on its way out. It's on
its deathbed. So he doesn't have any loving. He doesn't have hardly any moonlight. He has no moonlight. No
moonlight.
This call sheet might finish just above G Nice, who left $25,000 on the table.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Okay, so let me share just a couple more call sheets of mine, and because I was when you can't win any money at the game, sometimes you get a little bit cavalier and you start messing around with some stuff, right? Like I always take the feature presentation very seriously. You always get my number one top call sheet with that one, but I tend to experiment at times. I'm interested in some different strategies. So I'm trying to remember. I think it might have been the background talent, which is the one I went with a total fade. Okay, yeah. So this is my total fade of Doctor Strange, and this is what I came up with. So the thought process here is you load up on your trolls, you load up on Arrival, and Arrival overperforms, and you headliner the shit out of this thing, and then also you punt at Handmaiden and get your one, keep up with the Joneses, whatever. I mean, I think this has a shot like on raw score at possibly if things break right at possibly being a top 5 overall score. I don't know. What do you think?
Again, I'm not on the Arrival train. I don't think Arrival's that 13,000 could have been spent somewhere else. I'm sure it'll be good. I mean, I could be totally wrong. Trolls, those animated movies don't lose as much as the regular movies do. just because kid movies are just kid movies, and people are, maybe people wait a weekend to take their kids out because they don't want to deal with the crowds and the strollers and buying all the popcorn and all that crap. So,
And the projection I saw had it at 26.8 million. So,
which is, considering it made 45, that's losing less than 50%, which, as we've seen, that's a win. If you can keep like roughly 70% of your audience, the next week, that's a great sign. Yeah, this is okay. I don't think
because the thought process is I can get two arrivals for one Doctor Strange, and then have enough money to go get a couple trolls.
I just like the Loving thing. Like you brought, I didn't even that.
I
wasn't
am missing
on
out
my
on Loving.
radar.
I am missing Loving on this. I am totally
If that does what you say it's going to do, and what were you saying? 30 points for a headliner in Loving?
Oh man! So if this thing, I mean, just like I said, it had almost 40K per screen on just 4 screens in New York and LA last weekend. It expanded to 46 screens, also in probably more coastal elite markets or whatever, right? So it's probably gonna. I mean, even if it loses like basically 60% in its per screen average, you're still talking like 10, 15, 20, 20 points right there. You're still talking like 1 to 2 to 2.5 million on the weekend, which at 1 point per 100,000 is going to get you 25 points. Then headliner bonus, you're at 40 points per. So when you look at a BTTF call sheet, I mean, when he was able to pack in 5 Lovings, oh my god!
Hey, breaking news, real quick. Just want to send my condolences out to the family of Robert Vaughn, the man from U.N.C.L.E., one of my favorite spy guys of all time, just passed away today.
Oh, wasn't he on the ABC show was he on Heart to Heart? Was that him?
No, that was Robert Wagner.
Oh, okay, Robert Wagner.
Who's fantastic. He also killed his wife on a boat outside Catalina, but was never convicted of it. But that's a whole nother story.
Okay. News you can only find here on the Cinema Draft podcast. Okay, well, yes, our condolences to the family of Robert Vaughn. Wow, that took a turn. So we're going to turn it back to one other strategy I had going on my call sheets. I think this is the
Ed, come on. You've been on Mostly Sports. You know how we roll, man. The tangents are always flying, bro. You got to stay on your feet, all right?
True. This is true. But we know that people like to tune into our Friday micropods for the strategy, so we'll keep it a little more strategy focused. And so this is also another one where I'm doing complete fade. This is one where I work in some Loving. This one, actually, I'm feeling more confident in because it's all headliner, a call sheet. I got like headliner stacks of pretty much everything that's relevant except for Doctor Strange. And I do slip in Almost Christmas. So I think this is kind of like a CYA call sheet. This is a cover your ass call sheet. If you're gonna fade Doctor Strange, just covering all the bases.
Dude, almost Christmas is gonna be the surprise. I would almost go on a limb and say Almost Christmas beats Arrival. Head up.
What?
Just heads
up.
Oh,
I love. You know what?
Mano a mano. Almost Christmas takes down Arrival. You heard
second
it here.
Prop bet. Second prop. So we've got 2 concurrent now. So we've
got
JB
Smoove, son. That's my guy.
We've got our $10 prop bet on Arrival, doing 25 million over under, and we are going to do a secondary. I'm invoking executive order powers. Well, I still can't for these next 2 months.
You're a tyrant. You're a tyrant.
I'm doing my next executive order. I'm a tyrant, damn it. Hashtag blame Eduardo. I am doing a second prop bet, another $10 on the head-to-head Arrival versus Loving. Although I will give it to you. It's projected to do better than Arrival is, so you've got that going for you, which is nice.
I was looking for odds. I was looking for 2-to-1 odds.
Whoa,
can I get some odds?
I mean, I'm a poker player. I'm not a gambler. I don't do like oddsy stuff. I mean, if you feel that, I mean, I don't feel that bullish. It's going to be you're already ahead in projections. I mean, take the win. Just take this free money of mine. Take this 1-to-1 money.
I'm nothing if I'm not stubborn. Bet is on. I'm in.
All right, you heard it here, viewers. Since I can't win any money at our game, which is fine, I'm going to make money off poor saps like Jay Devlin, who couldn't get his call sheet in right. So we're going to bet that Arrival will. So I'm betting that Arrival will beat Almost Christmas head to head, while Jay Devlin's betting that Arrival will lose to Almost Christmas. These are heady times we're in now, everybody. This is what you're getting from the Cinema Draft podcast. Prop betting, pure conjecture, hating on call sheets, a lot of fun. We're going to wrap it up now because we know our boy Jay has to go play some tennis. Slim and trim, lovely Jordan. Thanks a lot, Jay Devlin. As always, it's been a pleasure chopping this up with you. And also, shout out to the people. Tell people what you're up to. Tell people about your podcast.
Hey, mostly sports, UBN Radio, iHeart Radio, Stitcher, iTunes, just obviously all the platforms out there. Just give us a listen. I think you'll dig it. It's a lot of fun. That's it, man. Yeah, just doing that and just trying to survive out here in this world, man. Life is good, and that's all.
Oh, and as we were signing off, looks like we have joining the hangout real quick, the Hebrew Hammer. Do you have any thoughts on what we've just covered, Hebrew Hammer?
My call sheet this week, the only one that I've gotten to actually stick for the past 3 weeks, and I couldn't be more disappointed in myself. So we'll see what happens.
There you have the raw truth. We spent some time. You just ready his call sheet. Thanks for jumping in at the last second, Mike.
Hey.
We appreciate you.
Mike, if it makes you feel any better, I had nothing good to say about your call sheet.
I wouldn't expect anything more. So now I'm a little bit more optimistic that I'll place it pretty high. So it's I got that going for me.
Which is nice.
Excellent. Excellent last minute cameo by the Hebrew Hammer. Thanks again to Jay Devlin. Thanks for everyone to tuning in to the podcast, and we will see you all next time.